What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2018 movie Bloodfest. So, in this movie, a bunch of fans go to this festival celebrating the most iconic horror movies, only to discover that the showman behind the event has a diabolical agenda to kill everybody and make his own horror movie with all of these people, and a group of friends have to band together with some unlikely allies to survive and get out of the area where this festival thing is being put at. It's like a haunted trails territory thing that you see happen in around Halloween time every year. But this is a pretty crazy independent movie. It's one I picked up. I work at a Dollar General, and they had it last year at Dollar General, and I picked it up and everything. I just got around to watching it. I've added it on my 31 Days of Horror since I hadn't got around to watching it, and I gotta say, this was a really, really fun movie. It has a lot of really awesome references to other horror movies and stuff, while also being really meta and stuff on its own. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Scream, like the way the meta humor is in here, but it also reminds me of mostly Cabin in the Woods, which has a lot of meta humor as well. And to me, it was kind of like Cabin in the Woods, except it's set at this haunted territory thing instead, and they like have to face off against zombies and slashers and evil spirits and demon-possessed people and killer clowns. It's awesome. There's like so many references in this movie, and the main character is a horror fanatic who saw his mother brutally murdered and stuff. At the beginning of the movie, we see him as a kid, and his mom was brutally murdered, and his dad blames the violence on movies, and he's like, horror movies make people kill people, and that's pretty much what they are trying to go for in this message. Is kind of making fun of the people who like to blame horror movies for people killing people, which I've never agreed with. I don't believe that video games or movies are what makes people kill people. They can say that all they want, but that's just not a good excuse. But it's an awesome little movie. It has a lot of really fun moments, like I said, a lot of good humor and a lot of awesome special effects. Like, there's a lot of good practical effects in here, and some really good gore and stuff too, and the writing is just really well done. I haven't seen a meta movie like this since Scream that I thought was as entertaining as this is. It's really entertaining, but you also love the characters, want to see them get out of the situation they're in. All of them are really likable and everything, especially the lead character Dax. He's really good, but his friends Sam and Krill are great too, and Jacob Batalon plays Krill, which you probably know him most as Ned from Spider-Man, and he's really hilarious in here, although he pretty much acts exactly the same in this movie as he does in the Spider-Man movies, except since it's rated R, he can get away with being a lot more raunchy and horny and stuff. He's still pretty much essentially Ned, and he's still really funny, and he's got some good moments, and like I said, the humor in here works really well. They do a good job with the meta humor and stuff. I haven't seen, like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen one where the meta humor was really well done like this. I mean, except for maybe the Scream franchise, I haven't seen one this meta and where it works really, really good in a long time. and it's really kind of an underrated movie. I don't think it got a big release because, like I said, it's an independent movie, but it's really entertaining. And the director, Owen Egerton, has directed a couple other movies. I'm gonna have to check them out sometime because I'm really curious to see what else he does in the horror genre aside from this, because like there's different parts of the movies where it feels like a zombie movie, parts where it feels like a killer clown movie, and then slashers. And like I said, it brings all of the genres that make this stuff great work really good and everything. And I also like that like one of the main motivations of why the guy is wanting to make all these killers or people get killed and stuff is because he says that the horror fan base has made horror where it's not fun anymore, because we all have seen horror movies, that all types of horror movies, and seen it done so many times that they're just not fun anymore and everything. I thought that was kind of a cool little concept, but there is a big twist at the end of this movie. I personally halfway saw it coming, to be honest. I actually knew that it was gonna end up happening the way it did, like just the way stuff was going on in the beginning. I picked up on. I was like, yeah, this is going to tie into the end of the movie somehow, and I was completely right on that. That's the one thing that does take this movie down just a tiny bit for me, is it does have a really predictable ending. But aside from that, I think this is a really fun movie, and it's really underrated and definitely worth checking out. Like I said, I don't want to say too much about spoilers and stuff because I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it's definitely worth checking out and everything. So I think it's on Amazon Prime if you want to check it out on there. But I know it's a pretty crazy but fun movie. So I'd say I'd give Bloodfest an 8 out of 10. It was definitely one of the better Dollar Tree or Dollar General pick. I'm pretty sure I bought it at Dollar General because I bought it one of the days after I got off work, I'm pretty sure. But it's definitely one of those that was actually really worth getting, because I didn't know what to expect on this movie, and it was only $2 or $3 and stuff for the Blu-ray, so it was really worth paying that much for. It was really one of those that's kind of one of those satisfying buys where you don't know what to expect but end up really loving it. And I think it's a really fun movie. I'm looking forward to revisiting it again sometime in the next few years. I'll probably revisit it sometime again. But and I'd say I'd give it a 8 out of 10. Although I'm tempted to give it 7.5 because of the predictability. But the movie is just really enjoyable, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 and everything. But if you've seen Bloodfest, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Do you think it's great? Do you think it's just an alright movie that's been done with meta humor that's been done better in other movies, or you think it's terrible? Let me know in the comments what you think if you have seen it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.